Hello, hello, YouTubers. What is going on? How's it going? So, let's talk about the 8th of March, which is Women's Day. Hello, 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 ladies. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and non binary people. Everyone is welcome here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. But we're going to be marching tomorrow, which is pretty cool. But this reminded me of like my teens because in my association, I'm part of an E-Trans association. And in our association, we have a bunch of young people and seeing them flourish. And they're telling me, like in school, they never had issues with their classmates. It's really, really nice to hear. I'm jealous, honestly, because I had like a really, really bad, like a really shitty teenage upbringing. I liked myself and my life, but I was made to, I guess, conform and change. And I was always a rebel, right? So I tried to have long hair, but like the school did not allow me to have long hair. I never tried to wear makeup because that would get me killed probably. And keep in mind, I'm talking my early teens in Kuwait, not in the US. But in the US, it's not like just like roses and flowers and whatever everywhere, because depending where you are, I knew people in the US who were living in California, but not like the cool city California. They were living in the countryside, like on closer to Nevada or a bit northeast, in those little towns, and it was so horrible. Like telling me those stories, I was like, wow, I never thought California would have those types of people. But depends on who is around you. It's not really about the place. You could be in Ohio where I was, but you would have like pretty cool people or pretty cool family, and you would be pretty chill. Actually, someone I dated when I was a teen, well, at the end of my teens in the US, um, her, I don't know how to say this, the daughter of, well, the child of her brother is, I think, non binary now. This is why I cannot say her niece or her nephew because they're not nieces or nephew. I think that would be, yeah, a non nephew. They might be going trans mask or trans non binary mask in some sense, but they're non binary. And this girl, she was always pretty cool. Like, she came talk to me in a bar because she thought I was gay at the time, and I was like 20, whatever. And we started hanging out, and I kind of liked her because she was kind of open and she had a very strong personality, which is kind of my weakness when I dated women. And that kind of made me like her, and we started hanging out, so we started dating for a little bit. But I met her parents, I met her family, and she was from a small town. I think it was Point Place, not Point Place. What do you call it? Um, it's like southeast Ohio, close to Kentucky, and the town like Pomeroy, I think. No, it was smaller. Pomeroy was kind of okay, but I think in Meigs County, it was pretty cool because the town was pretty chill, and the people were pretty chill. And we're talking Ohio, like countryside Ohio, like Appalachia, Ohio, not like city Ohio, but still, it was kind of pretty chill. And I think depending where you go, where you grew up, or who you know have around you, you might have a better upbringing than other people. And I'm lucky to have, had my second part of my teens in the US exploring. But honestly, I never felt like safe enough in the US to even come out as at least gay or think about being feminine because the US is a very masculine culture. And one thing led to another. I think me dating or having women wanting to date me or want me made me just kind of go with that. And because of this, it took me a very long time to come out as a trans woman because I've always had someone, like many women, very beautiful, very intelligent, very successful, be interested in me. And I thought, wow, if they like me, then that's kind of the check mark that I have to be checking, obviously. And eventually, it was still problematic because lovely women, very mature, most of them, barely had any bad breakups, and still, I was still kind of like, I don't even know who I am in this relationship, so I'm out. And I left most of my relationships, and most of these women actually still talk to me, and it's really nice to see them like have a happy life, have a happy partner. This girl I told you about from Mix County, she now has a daughter, maybe two daughters, or a daughter and a son, which for me is like, woohoo, good for you, but like, no, not for me. I'm here traveling the world, which I like, but also now I'm tired. Would I want to have kids? I want to adopt. I never wanted to have my own kids because I, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I did not like myself that much to recreate myself. Also, reading Zarathustra, which is the Nietzsche book, I came to the understanding of letting go. Like, what's the purpose of bringing more children to the world? Having children to me right now, my DNA children, is an sorry, it's an egocentric way of staying alive longer. Honestly, because if you want kids, you can adopt a baby like an infant, and that would be like a brand new baby. But I want to adopt because I want to help people. I don't want to be bringing people into the world when there are a bunch of kids who actually just want to, have a normal life, have someone to call a parent. Not every adopted kid is a chaotic person who's dysfunctional, which I had friends in college and in high school who were adopted girls, and I think a guy, and they were very chill. Like I think a couple of them are traveling the world, or they are professional photographer. One of them is. The other one is in the U.S. and they're having a good life. And thinking about it now, it's like, you know what? Yeah, like this is good. Like why aren't people doing this? Why aren't people adopting? I think it's really hard to adopt. That's why it's like they make it really really hard. And with this, you just go like, I want to help, but you don't want me to help. So what do I do? If you're a female, then you can just go get pregnant, which is like good for you. But I think for me now, it's going to be very complicated. I'm a trans woman and I don't have a partner. So, and I don't have like a contract job. So, like, it's just like a whole mayhem of chaos. And do I want to? Not really, but I want to help. That's kind of what I want to do. And I think many people, especially right now, need probably a healthy family. And I think I would be a healthy parent because I would not tell you to be like me, but I also would not tell you to be against me. Like, I'm not going to go tell you to be a right wing, but I'm not going to stop you from being a right wing, honestly, because I know that there are some things. I'm not going to have you be an extremist in my house, but this is kind of something you might have to think about. And I'm going to be probably teaching you about what that means and how that is different, but also to talk about what life means and what's the purpose and how nationalism and fascism is not a correct path. Like saying you're a superior race because your skin is a certain color or because your ancestors had a long history is very bad logic. And let me tell you, because my ancestors are Mesopotamians, so Hammurabi, the freaking people who created the writing system, the people who created all the religions that you find in the US and Israel and Islam, those are my ancestors. So they were smart because we're still here worshiping the bullshit they created. Isn't that crazy? I think that is the craziest inventions that humans have ever made. It's not a car, it's not a satellite, it's just having people, generation after generation, worship something that never existed or doesn't exist. And they do it as a group for centuries and millennia. That for me is fascinating. But I think that, um, yeah, I think adopting would be good because if they're growing up, especially if they're teens or if they're kids, I think it's a rough patch. And I don't want parents, I don't want people to be kind of like me in my teens. I did not want my parents because my parents wanted me to be something that I was never able to. Like, and I tried really hard. Like I really, really tried. I tried to be the religious person they wanted. I tried to be the masculine person they wanted. I tried to get smart, get my education. Even me getting a PhD now is just me being brainwashed by my family who kept calling me dumb and useless. So now I'm realizing like I play the guitar very well, and I'm more impressed with my guitar skills than with my PhD because I learned the guitar from zero, from scratch, alone. And the PhD I learned from professors. So I go to a place and they teach me things and I just repeat them. So I'm not really proud of that part. I'm proud of me picking an instrument and thinking, what do I do now? And then figuring it out. Good job. But life is complicated. So adopt, just like with pets. Don't buy a dog. Don't buy a breed or whatever. Go adopt. Go to a shelter. Just go look at them. My first dog was actually an adopted dog. Super sweet. Um, very lazy. Not very aggressive, even though I wanted it to be a little bit aggressive to protect the house. But no, it was just like just a sweet potato. That's cute. It's a sweet potato. Oh my goodness. His name is Duke. But yeah, so adopt, because there are children who need this. And why bring more? Like, this is where like your DNA, it's like DNA. I want my DNA, and this is kind of the egocentric part of having kids. Fight me in the comments. Anyway, I'm gonna go. There's a little party in the park, so I'm loving my hair today. Don't you think? Let me like think. Let me flirt. Okay, I'm gonna go.